Konnichiwa. Hello everybody. This video will be about basic Japanese verbs. We're going to learn how to conjugate the present tense. Alright, so let's get going. So we're going to learn the following verbs. I'm going to list them out here, but you don't have to necessarily learn them right here on the spot right now. I'm just listing everything that we're going to cover like an overview, and then later we'll start by going and focusing on each small part at a time. Okay, so we're gonna look at the verbs, so-called rule verbs, first category verbs, of which they include taberu, which means to eat, neru, to sleep, okiru, to get up from bed, miru, to see, watch. Now, these are the u verbs, another category we're going to be looking at. Nomu, to drink, yomu, to read, like reading a book, hanasu, to speak, kiku, to listen, iku, to go, kaeru, to go back, like return. And these are the irregular verbs, suru, which means to do, and kuru, to come. And as an example, using suru, 勉強する means to study. Let's get going. So Japanese verbs can be classified into three categories, so-called rule verbs, the u verbs, and irregular. Okay, so first rule verbs, they end with the sound ru, which is ru, and it's this hiragana character here, ru. Example, taberu means to eat, taberu, here is in hiragana, they end with ru. Okay, now for u verbs, end with the vowel sound u. Okay, but will likely be combined with other consonants. And for example here, kaeru, you see the last sound is u, but you have to make sure it's not a ru verb. So because some u verbs may end with ru sound, but they're not ru verbs, the first category. They're actually u verbs, like kaeru, well, the last sound is the vowel u. Even though it's ru, it's actually a u verb and not a ru verb. We're going to be looking at that later on, so don't worry about it. And then there are the irregular verbs. They don't follow these previous rules for ru or u. They just have their own conjugation pattern, and they are the suru, to do, and kuru, to come. And as a reference, I have referenced this book, a really good textbook, Genki, an integrated course, elementary Japanese volume 1 by Eri Banno and other authors. Pretty good. I have a good explanation. I'm basing this video off their categorization of Japanese verbs. They use ru, u, and regular verbs, so I'm using them as well. Now let's go and talk about the ru verbs, the first category of Japanese verbs. So as I told you before, these verbs end with the sound ru, and you're always going to see hiragana ru. Okay? Example, taberu means to eat. Taberu, ru verb, ends with the sound ru, hiragana ru right here. And how do we conjugate the present tense? There's going to be two forms, the affirmative form and the negative form. For the affirmative, we're going to use mas. Negative, we're going to use masen. Whenever you see mas, affirmative, or ever see masen, negative. Okay? Now let's get going and learn how to conjugate ru verbs in the present tense. The rule is you drop the ru sound and you add masu for affirmative or masen for negative. Alright, so 食べる. Here's the verb to eat. 食べる. It's a ru verb. You get the ru, you drop it, you get 食べ, and then you add ます. 食べます. And that's the affirmative of the verb to eat. 食べる, 食べます. 食べる, 食べます. Now for the negative, similarly, drop the ru, 食べる, 食べ, and add ません. 食べません. 食べる, 食べません. 食べる, 食べません. Okay, so that's pretty much the rule for ru verbs. And when to use the present tense, this is just a general thing. The present tense in Japanese, which we just learned using masu, imasen, you're gonna use it to tell people about your habits, what you usually do or don't do. Or you can use it to tell people about your future actions, which is actually kind of like a future tense in a way. So what you're going to do or not going to do, you will do, won't do. Okay? So let's practice. Let's say I want to say I will eat. Notice I put I under parentheses because in Japanese it is okay to omit the subject, which is I. So how would I say in Japanese omitting the subject and just say will eat, I will eat? We just learned the verb taberu, which means to eat. Let's conjugate that. And we got taberu, drop the ru, tabe, and add mas. Tabemasu. Tabemasu. I will eat. Could be a future action. I will eat. Tabemasu. Now, how do I say I will not eat? Again, you can omit the subject and you can just say will not eat. Just the negative form of the above, right? So, taberu, to eat. Taberu, drop the ru. Tabe, add masen. Tabemasen. Tabemasen. I will not eat. Not eat. Will not eat. Tabemasen. Now let's try this one. Probably it's a bit too challenging for those who are beginners. Might not know the word structure. So I wanted to say convey like a kind of habit that I have. I eat pasta every day. Let's say that. Let's omit the subjects. It's okay to omit I in Japanese, and let's just say eat pasta every day. So for that, I would say every day is 毎日. 毎日. Pasta is pasta. And eat is 食べる, right? So you have to use the particle を. 毎日パスタを食べる. Don't worry about the particle and the 毎日. I just wanted to focus on the blue part here, the verb 食べます. And it's indicating that you're going to do something in the future. Oh, sorry, your habit. It's indicating a habit here that you have. 毎日 means every day. So 毎日 every day 食べます. What? Pasta. So every day you eat pasta. Okay, so a habit that you have, you can use the present tense in Japanese. 食べます. 毎日パスタを食べます. Okay, and that's a romaji for you if you can't read hiragana katakana. 毎日 every day pasta を食べます. O is just a particle, and whenever you have a verb like 食べます, which requires an object like you're eating something, right? You have to connect it with o. So whatever you're eating, o 食べます. Don't worry about that. The focus of this video is the verb conjugation. So 食べます, I eat, and every day 毎日. Okay, so 食べます. Now let's take a look at u verbs. So these verbs end with the vowel sound u. Example, we're going to look at the verb to go, iku. So as you can see, iku, the last vowel is u. So it's a u verb here. How to conjugate present tense? Again, affirmative form, negative form. Affirmative, for the u verbs, you're going to drop the u vowel and you add imasu. For negative, similarly, you're going to drop the u vowel and you're gonna add imasen. Okay? So the rule for U verbs, drop the U and add imas for affirmative or imasen for negative. Let's take a look. Iku. Iku. Drop the U. You got ik. Add imas for affirmative form becomes ikimasu. Ikimasu. Iku. Ikimasu. Iku. Ikimasu. Negative form, similarly, ik, drop the u, ik, add imasen, ikimasen, ikimasen. Okay? Now let's practice. Let's say I wanted to say I will go. How do you say will go? The verb to go is iku. To conjugate that in the affirmative form, you would drop the u from iku, becoming ik, and then add imasu, ikimasu, ikimasu. How would I say I will not go? Similarly, iku, to go. Drop the u, ik, add imasen, ikimasen, 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 won't go, will not go. Now another challenging one for beginners. How do I say I go to school every day, which is conveying a habit? The verb to go is iku. Okay? Now every day is mainichi. School is gakko. So we're gonna say mainichi gakko ni ikimasu. Okay? So just focus on the verb conjugation iku, to go in the future. Present tense, indicating a habit. Iku, drop the u, ik, add imasu, ikimasu. Okay? So mainichi, every day. Gakko, school. And ni is a particle indicating you're going somewhere. It's like to in English. Ikimasu. So, ikimasu, go to school, gakko. Mainichi, every day. So, ikimasu. Mainichi gakko ni ikimasu. It's a habit that you have. It's a thing you do every day. So you can use the present tense to convey that. I go to school every day. Mainichi gakko ni ikimasu. Okay? Ikimasu. Now let's talk about the third category of verbs, the so-called irregular verbs, which don't follow the rules presented before. They have their own conjugation. So there are two. We have the suru, irregular verb, which means to do. And we have kuru, to come. These two irregular verbs, as I said, have their own conjugation pattern. Let's learn the conjugation for suru. You take suru and it becomes shimasu. You take suru and it becomes shimasen for negative form. Suru, shimasu, affirmative. Suru, shimasen, negative form. And then kuru, to come. Kuru becomes kimasu. Kuru becomes kimasen in negative form. And for you who cannot read hiragana, here's romaji for you. Suru, shimasu, suru, shimasen, kuru, kimasu, kuru, kimasen. Alright? Now let's talk a little bit more about the verb suru. Very special verb in Japanese because you can turn pretty much any word into a verb by adding suru. So for example, tennisu suru, to play tennis. So tennisu means tennis. Say you want to play the sport tennis, and to make tennis into a verb you add suru. Tennisu suru. Tennisu suru. So you want to say you want to play games. The word for game is geimu. It's pretty much a Japanized. English word, gemu, and add suru, and that means to play games or to play a certain game. Gemu suru. Now I have the Japanese word for exercise called undo, and if you want to turn that into a verb, you add suru. Undo suru, to exercise. Undo suru. Now the word for studying, the benkyou, if you want to turn that into a verb, you just add suru. So benkyou suru becomes the verb to study. Benkyou suru. And if you were to use the conjugations we have just learned, these would become, in the affirmative form, tennisu shimasu, gemu shimasu, undo shimasu, benkyou shimasu, and in the negative, tennisu shimasen, gemu shimasen, undo shimasen, benkyou shimasen. Okay? Now let's practice. With the verb to study, we have just learned benkyou means to study. So benkyou is the noun. You would want to turn that into a verb. You add suru, benkyou suru. And to conjugate into affirmative, present tense, benkyou shimasu. Benkyou suru, benkyou shimasu. Negative form is benkyou suru, and then you just replace suru with shimasen, which is its negative form. Benkyou suru, benkyou shimasen, will not study. Now, let's look at the verb to come. Remember, to come is kuru. It's an irregular verb that has its own conjugation, so kuru becomes kimasu. Kuru kimasu. And in the negative form, kuru becomes kimasen. Kuru kimasen. Will not come. Kimasen. Okay, let's go through some verbs here and learn. Now let's start off a few ru verbs. So ru verbs, remember the rule, you drop the ru and you add mas or masen. Okay? The verb to sleep is neru. Neru, drop the ru, ne, conjugate into nemasu. Negative form, neru, drop the ru, ne, add masen, nemasen, will not sleep. To get up, the verb to get up is okiru. Okiru, drop the ru, becomes oki, add mas, okimasu. Negative form, okiru, drop the ru, oki, add masen, okimasen, okimasen. Okay? Now the verb to see is miru. Drop the ru, mi, add mas, mimasu. Miru, mimasu, mimasu. Miru, negative form, drop the ru, mimasen, mimasen, mimasen. Okay? Can you mimasu this picture? Can you see it? Alright. Mimasu ka? Okay, let's see. Let's learn now u verbs. Remember, u verbs, you just drop the u. You add mas or masen for negative form. To drink is nomu. Nomu. Drop the u. You got nom and add imasu. Nomimasu. Nomu. Nomimasu. For negative form, nomu, drop the u. Nom, add imasen. Nomimasen. Nomimasen. 飲む、飲みます。飲む、飲みません。Now to read is 読む、読む、読みます。I'm already skipping what I did here. I didn't write it, but you should know that you should drop the u sound from 読む, yom, and then add imasu, so it becomes 読みます。読む、読みます。Okay? And negative is いません。No, 読む、読みません。読む, drop the u, 読 add いません。読みません。読みません。読みません。Now, when you learn these verbs, you should learn first their dictionary form, which is just this plain form here, along with the Masu form. So that's a good way to learn. So whenever you're learning Japanese verbs, learn the dictionary form, which is this plain form. For example, to read, you learn yomu and you learn yomimasu together as a pair. So you will remember that it is a u verb and not a ru verb. So keep that in mind as you learn.